Seb, stage one, let's take you back to that one. That was a good stage for you. And
Yeah.
you must have been very happy with that performance.
Yeah, we were riding for Finn, kind of. Ultimately, he got a bit lost in the last like 2-3k, so I went back to go find him. And then it all really kicked off with 2k's to go, where it started to really ramp up. There was a couple of crashes uphill somehow, and we were just like surfing through a load of bodies. And just as we got to the sprint, both of us were kind of just off the back of that front group, which looks like on paper 51st is like a bit useless, but if you see the photo, we're all there ready in the mix, which I think personally was a good ride, and hopefully build on that throughout the week.
Okay, well, when you get a day like that, the weather being as bad as it was and everything, it must be great still to be there at the finish.
No, absolutely. The first 2 hours I wasn't feeling great. We were completely wrapped up with like rain jackets on, all the rest of it, like just riding through a flood, and to kind of turn it around into being there in a race of this level is really something. So yeah.
Yesterday, all the luck went.
Yeah, I think we had a bit of a rough one. Both Tanfields got on the break, which is obviously fantastic exposure for the team, and that's a really good thing to have happened. But we had a couple of mechanicals. Ended up being all of us apart from, in the bunch got stuck behind a crash. 2 of us came down, and by the time we kind of collected ourselves and got back into the race, 20k's to go. Richie Port's whacking it on the front. There's not much you can do about it. So hopefully we can push that aside. Obviously Finn's not starting today, but we'll do as best we can really. So.
Well, early on in a stage race, when you've had a performance like you did on stage one, do you start to think overnight, oh, GC, or are you still looking for stages?
We did yesterday. The plan was to get both of them in the break, and me and Finn to try and go for the finish. And obviously the second half of that plan didn't quite come off. The first half did, which is great. Obviously now, 10 minutes down, don't have to worry about GC anymore, and I've got 6 more opportunities really, and that's what we're here for. So yeah. And
finally, being in the bunch after the national A's and all that you've been doing, how has the racing been? Has it been easy enough just to sit in the wheels?
Yeah, it's a very different style of racing. Here it's hectic for 20 minutes getting in the break, and then it's just like a 3-hour endurance ride, and then it's 1 hour of just walk. Whereas in a national A, we're racing 4 hours just on the gas. Like yesterday was on paper a lot easier than say Lancaster, where I got 5th. But I didn't guess the finish line.
Not as bad as the that time trial you won on the Isle of Man.
Exactly.
In the wind and
yeah. The conditions were nowhere near as bad as that yesterday. Just the kind of how the race unfolded just didn't fall to our feet.
Well, I guess now that you've lost all that time, getting in a break is probably one of the options.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, like, today is officially my home stage. I lived in Newcastle for 10 years, went to university here. So if I can get in the break today, that'd be great. Don't hold me to it.
So you're going to have a big notice on your back. I'm a local boy. Let me go.
Boy, yeah, exactly. We'll see as well with Chapel Fell. I know that climb really well. 40k's into the.
Well, tell us about it. Is it going to? Do you think it's going to change things?
We were discussing this yesterday. So it's only an hour into the race. You would expect that no one's going to light it up, but 15 minutes into a headwind, something might happen, and it definitely could blow the race in half at least if someone decides to ride hard.
One word you just mentioned there, which I've got to ask you finally.
Yeah.
Headwind.
Yeah.
Just tell people what it's like. Headwind, race goes negative. Tailwind gets aggressive, or?
Almost. So especially on a climb that long, it's going to slow it down quite a lot. But it also means that the people who are hoping just to sit in, it's going to be a lot harder, because when it's fast up a climb, everyone can kind of like swarm together. It's a bit like a normal peloton, where when you're going at 15k's an hour and everyone's doing the same kind of power, then there's nowhere to hide. So definitely makes it harder.
Well, have a good one out there.
Thanks. Cheers, Harry.